Work session for Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Review of work session discussion meeting minutes. Have any questions or concerns? No? We'll move to department head report. Holly?
Okay, good morning. First of all, I just have a couple things to go over, just basic information regarding our department and things that are going on currently. Right now on December 14th, they did open up a new grant round. It was announced in the Pennsylvania Bulletin, and there are two grant rounds. One is for the food recovery, which involves our food pantries. It is to get food waste out of the landfills and into folks that can use the food and the resources. So I've been working with, we have right now 4 in Beaver County that will be applying, so we're helping them with their grant applications. Also, it was announced in December that there is a 902 grant round, and that is for equipment and education, and that comes out of the recycling fund dollars. During last grant round, we were awarded $1.3 million for Beaver County, with 67 counties across the state of Pennsylvania. The total amount of money that was distributed was $37 million. So to bring $1.3 million back to Beaver County was very substantial. So this grant round, we've put the email out to the municipalities. So far, we've done pre-application meetings with 9 of them, and we have a few that are out there still waiting to decide if they wish to apply this round. But we at the county here, we review all of their grant applications and partner with them on gathering all of their quotes and information for those submissions. So we're diligently working on that. The grant is also available to the county, which is $350,000. I've submitted a resolution so that I would be granted permission to apply this grant round. So that's up for the commissioner's decision on that. We would be looking to purchase a new screen for our compost site. An update on the compost site is in late November, we were awarded the permitting for a 10-acre expansion at our Brighton compost site. That expansion would allow us to bring in significantly more material than what we have currently. During the last 3 years, we've sold out 100% of our compost, and so we're really needing to expand.
So that 350, if you get that grant, would purchase this equipment to make that expansion?
One of the purchases under that would be for it.
Okay.
We, each year, when we apply for those grant rounds, we do almost all of our equipment at the compost site has been purchased through a grant opportunity. So last year, we were delivered a loader, and that also was covered under the previous $350 that we received under that grant fund.
Awesome.
So the screen, we currently have a screen, but with an additional 10 acres of material, we really need a second screen to make it efficient. So again, the permit was issued. I did also submit a purchase order, and we were delivered in January 2 weeks ago, all of our geotextile fibers and the corrugated piping that is part of our permit. So we're, even though it's January, we're up there hard getting that expansion going. We have completed shredding at 5 different magistrates' office, which is something that they purge at the end of every year. So paper tonnages are up. Also, speaking of paper, with our shell project that we initiated in September, we started recycling in every school district in Beaver County. The program initiative that we started was No Paper Left Behind, and we started with a paper recycling program, so we named it and we developed the curriculum for that. So one of the requests that I would ask is that the county would also potentially hear some options available to partner in that program that we have gotten all of our schools to engage in. So if there's any interest in that, I would certainly like to discuss that with the commissioners. The other thing that we are starting and should be up and initiated next week, we've been working with IT and we are starting and developing a blog. The reason for the blog is that our department on a daily basis is doing so many different things, whether it's interaction with our municipalities, whether it's grant opportunities, We also do lunch and learns where we're going into medical buildings. There's so many different types of waste in Beaver County, whether it's medical waste or hazardous waste. And we really feel as though, you know, when paper shred days are available, different things at the recycling center. We just opened with our new hours in the fall at the recycling center. The calls are coming in, and we feel if we could get a place that we could put updated information multiple times during the week, that it would help the general public. So that's what the blog will accomplish. Lastly, we also submitted a resolution this week, and it is for our household hazardous waste collection. This is an annual event that we hold every year in October, so it's just permission to hold that event again this year. So that resolution will be passing through in the next week or so. And then April 22nd is Earth Day, and we're diligently working on plans for that because this year is the 50th anniversary for that event.
Holly,
Updates from our department.
Representative Matzi had his district director reach out to me, I think yesterday. I'm going to forward this message on to you about potentially using the county shred truck for a shred event on roughly tentatively April 25th, 1 to 3 at Sisters of St. Joseph. They were just wondering if that's a possibility. They would like to do it with the county, almost team up with you guys to be able to use the truck instead of pay someone to come in. It'd be free advertising on behalf of the state. And then hopefully he said this would hopefully open the doors to our other representatives, Marshall, Kale, and Bertha, who also do these events throughout Beaver County. So
Yeah, I would absolutely be interested. April 25th is our Earth Day event at Brady's Run Park. So I'm not sure
well,
if I can hold
they
my
might
staff in
change.
both
They might
directions.
change the date
Okay,
for that
all
reason.
right.
They want to start talking about it. It seems pretty far out. So.
Yeah, I'm absolutely willing to help.
And I know
anybody.
Marshall and Kale are interested as well.
So I'll forward that on to you. He just sent it yesterday.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other department head report? Hearing none. Solicitors?
Need an executive session for litigation and personnel matters.
Who will we need to reconvene?
No.
Board of Commissioners reports.
I have a couple of things. One, I attended my first SPC meeting Monday, and I'd like to congratulate publicly our colleague, who is now the vice chair of the Southwest Planning Commission. It's a great tribute to Beaver County, to Tony. Rich Fitzgerald is taking over as chair. Tony's vice chair. Those are 2-year terms, and then after 2 years, Tony should move up to be chair, and that's quite, I think, a significant thing for Beaver County to have Tony in that position. So it was a nice event. Also, Commissioner Leslie Oshie from Butler County, our neighbors to the north, is the secretary treasurer, and she'll be moving through that progression. So it's always nice to have friends in high places. You know? So also been speaking with multiple business and community development organizations about the ATI situation. I think we probably should come back with another letter about the Section 232 tariffs and the impact it's going to have on employment in Midland in ATI. I know, Tony, you've been talking to Casey's office, and Toomey's office was in earlier this week, and all three of us got to speak to them to express our concern over the impact those tariffs are having on the ATI side. So I'm working with some of the other folks like Lou Blas of the CED and Helen with the Chamber and other folks, see if we can collectively put as much on paper. I don't know what kind of impact that's going to have. That's a tough situation dealing with the State Department and federal government. Getting ready for the Chamber's State of the County event, preparing for that. And also, just want to make an announcement. I got word on this last night that of the many nonprofit and social service organizations had the pleasure to work with. One is the Humane Society, and we've had a vacancy in our animal control officer for a while there. And just last night, I'll read this from Susan Salyers. Please join me in welcoming Joe Fatchett to Beaver County Humane Society as our new animal control officer. Joe will be attending training for a certification to become a Humane Society officer in the spring. What some people don't know, whether you like animals, don't like animals, have animals, the benefits that the Humane Society brings to Beaver County in picking up strays, investigating stuff. These folks work like our detectives, work with the courts, investigate, bring cases forward. They're trained officers. Joe, it's J-O, Joe has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from IUP. She's worked as a private investigator and humane officer in Ohio, already has experience. So I'm looking forward to her coming on board. And I think I've mentioned this before. I could make a case that while they aren't a county employee, they probably should be a county employee, but we'll discuss that next budget cycle.
That's why it was so important for us to give them the $25,000.
No question.
Because of those various services.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, most people see Beaver County Humane Society, they automatically assume it's ours anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I've been a supporter, a long time supporter.
No, I think we all have, obviously, but I do think it's a great amenity to have, and filling this position and having a humane officer will be a great benefit to the entire county. So that's some of the stuff I've been working on. So.
I understand we have some things going on at Brush Creek Park with the public and the contractors. Is that all going to get worked out? Or?
Yeah, it's my understanding there have been some issues out there with citizens who've come to the park with the construction work that's going on that have been a little bit combative with the contractor.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, there's no one likes change. They're in their routine, and it's people. I think we want to keep everything amicable and everything like that. It's just people need to understand this is a temporary inconvenience for a 100% better improvement of what we can provide to them. So we'll just ask for their patience, and we unfortunately we had to close the park down, and we're gonna have to close it down, and that's not just for the contractor's safety, but it's also for the public safety. Those guys are running heavy equipment, excavators and stuff like that. They're not expecting someone to come up walking beside them. They're swinging their buckets and stuff like that. They're boom. So I think it's just in the best interest of everyone's safety.
We had it posted previously that the construction was going on.
That the construction was going on, and this is we've had this conversation that hey, there might be times where we have to close it. We don't want to close it permanently. There's days with the weather and things might come up that young blood's working there the last couple of days. Well, they might not be able to work 1 day or 2 days, and with talking with Mr. Caltori and Jack Hogue out there, we're going to try to keep that communication open through social media and websites and stuff that, hey, the park is open today. There's no activity, no construction activity going on there. So if you want to go out and enjoy yourself, please do.
But is the public getting notices ahead of time that today the park's going to be closed?
I think
open today.
I think what we did is we're going to try to. I believe it was posted on the website and social media that it's closed. It's going to be closed on a until further notice.
That's the only thing I was concerned about.
We'll move on to any other business. Hearing none, audience participation. Mr. Woolley?
Yes, a quick note. In Beaver, they're going to have a big concert in July, and they're using the garage. They're going to be blocking off a whole lot. Should be a good concert, but the county ought to be aware.
Thank you. They're using the garage for parking?
Yeah. Concert is down
Who's hosting
on the river.
A weekend then?
Who's
Huh?
hosting?
Weekend, 4th of July. What's the,
No, it's not the 4th, but I didn't bring the paper. So.
I'm sure Beaver will make us aware of.
Yeah, I told him to stop by the
So
person
we could put a
who's doing the
person on there to
concert,
collect the money.
just so that you're aware. Yeah, they're selling tickets online.
That's not my parking. All right. Would you guys like to? We received your information.
Okay, so you did receive.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have it.
We would just like to ask your approval to officially form a friends group with the help of the county, and possibly, this might be the start of all of the parks in the county itself.
For what?
For Brush Creek. So I think we all have, yeah. I don't see any issues with doing that, as long as, I'm sure you're really familiar with it. We have to get approval from our union members out there to what you guys will
Yes,
be.
and we want them included.
Absolutely, absolutely, and, work with the law department and
Mr. Ishman.
and Tim and Dan to discuss what will be taking place and what your guys' plans are. I mean, I don't see any.
No, I'm
Community
huge
involvement's
on
always good.
public-private partnerships, and, I'm a big fan of the parks and the need to keep those
Will it be
in
ex
good shape.
officio, or are
So.
we gonna set up some kind of agreement, or?
Yeah, I guess, what are you, this email didn't really clarify, is there a specific aspect of it? Is it the park in general, or what will this group be concentrating on?
This group itself will concentrate just solely on Rush Creek. So if this is successful in working with the county and with the union and all of the workers and the municipalities, eventually then, our next step, I believe, would be to start a MOU, yeah,
Right.
that would be the next step with that. And then to set up bylaws and officially formulate this group. And that would be something with, with Gavin and, Garen and, Mr. Ishman and Dan and everybody involved with that, so.
I like the idea, Amen, and I hope it would spread in the Brady's Run for trail maintenance and all kinds of stuff there.
Applying for grants as well.
Yeah.
So we've already applied for and gotten several grants, which, I believe was presented last
Yes,
meeting.
exactly, yeah.
So, but we wanted to officially form.
Okay.
Yes, so I think, as Garen said, we support it, but we can't tell you yes or no, you can't start the group.
Okay.
When it comes to the MOU, whenever it's time to start doing, if you wanna do projects, whether it's, redo the entry or whatever it may be.
Right.
Then that's whenever you'll come to us and we'll work, and I don't think there should be an issue.
Okay.
As long as we know what's going on
Right.
and we could help, so.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for your support. Yeah.
Tim had met with us last week, and he said that he has looked at a number of templates
Yeah.
of other places that do have done this, and that he said that to take the best of all that he had looked at. But I understood the MOU was something that we needed to have done to start it, is that
Right, well, he said that was like our next step.
right?
Yeah, I think the MOU generally is an agreement whenever you have a specific request or a specific project that you're going to do. I don't even think we're at that point yet. I think you're just trying to get organized, and then once you get organized, if you have a specific project that you would like to take on, then at that point, come to the county with what it is that you're looking to try and do. And that's whenever we might need to get an MOU with the unions and other various aspects of the county involved with that MOU or an agreement. That way everyone understands what's gonna happen back.
So there could be 15 MOUs. As projects come up, you guys would
Okay.
just request
So you want
it.
an MOU per project?
Pretty
Well,
Yeah,
as we need it. that's-
Yeah, as we need it. And there may not be an MOU for certain things that you do, but I think at this
Right.
point, there's nothing specific that you're requesting at this time. So I think the commissioners are giving you a blessing, yeah, go ahead, start your group. And then once you come up with ideas, then at that point, we'll address them as they come up with what would need to be done.
We had discussed possibly on Earth Day, which is April 22nd, to have a cleanup day, which of course we would have to coordinate. Andy is getting together the volunteer list, but we would also have the approval of the union because we're.
Right, so if you guys come up with that proposal, get it to us and we can walk through the logistics of pulling it off.
So, when we put together this template, you do not need or want to be involved in how we set up.
I think that's something, that's your sort of private group on how you guys want to set up and run it. Obviously, it's going to be dealing, it sounds like, mostly with county property, so the things that you would do on the county property would need to have approval through here. But how that board organizes and how your group decides to function and set itself up doesn't need to have county involvement.
But it'd be nice to define general parameters of what the intent.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
and that's something we intended
Yeah.
on doing, but we thought we had to have your permission to move forward before we did that.
And if you could just do us one favor and relay to your residents out there about the park being closed. I'm sure there's,
Have some pictures.
if you guys have some other Facebook pages that we don't have connection with, you could share. Or
I
the-
shared the closures.
Thank you.
Yesterday about that.
And I had talked to Deanna
Yeah.
this morning because someone asked about walking in the park, and I immediately, my head said, you know, if they have machinery going on, no,
Yeah,
but
we're
I
just-
didn't wanna say that until I asked
Okay.
him. So
Thank
I
you.
will share that on our Facebook page and
Thank you.
make sure that they know.
I appreciate
The problem is the Facebook page doesn't reach all of the people that are using. the
Yeah,
park.
just
So
people-
if you go down there any given time, you'll see people there from Pittsburgh. I was there the one time in Pittsburgh, police were actually training their dogs.
Okay.
So, and they're not contacting Tim to coordinate this, so many people utilize the park where it's kind of hard to reach everybody who is using.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I had I shared it over from Visit Beaver County website to the Friends of Brush Creek Park page, which I did get one reply from a friend of mine that ice fishes. And he wondered if he could still go in. And of course, I said I would find out today, but I thought probably they would have to walk in, park out the road.
That would be dangerous.
I didn't know if they would be permitted to walk in to go fish without talking to you guys first. Because, like you said, there is equipment moving around. Now, common sense will tell you to stay away from it, and if you're going fishing. But would there be a problem with them parking at the front of the park along the road and walking it? Or do you want no one in there at all?
I think if it's closed, it's closed.
I'm gonna make sure I put that down as closed.
Yeah, if it says park closed, it means park closed.
There is a sign,
Yeah.
in orange, you know, park closed due to construction. It's on the gate.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you guys stick around after, Devine probably will like your names about the Friends group, so. Any other audience participation? Matt?
Just to clarify, as we're talking about the closure, this is it's not a day-by-day thing, it's a.
So,
temporary.
it's closed unless we report otherwise that it will be open. So
Okay.
it's not gonna be closed today, open tomorrow, closed.
It's gonna be closed
It's
until-
closed unless we know that they're gonna be taking a few days off, then we can report that
Right,
it's open.
and is there sort of a timetable when it's gonna change?
You could, yeah,
I don't have that information this
Okay,
time, I'm
that's fine.
sorry, Yeah, I've been involved with some other things going on, and I'd be honest with you, I haven't been able to get out there to see where they are.
I was just curious.
I apologize.
I mean, we're doing some very important
Right.
improvements there that require
Right.
construction and equipment and young blood to have in there, so weather dependent and everything else, it may take a while to get that done.
I would be worried to open it that if they were working and they dug up the road and then whether weather or whatever reason they weren't there, they're not going to cover it all back up to make it so people can get through. So I would be worried
Exactly.
opening it up on even on a temporary basis if that were the case. I don't.
yeah, we don't know what they're gonna do.
We should, maybe we'll talk internally about that and see.
And get with young blood to see if they do cover up, a lot of times,
You
I mean.
How
this-
long?
this-
Even with that, brings some liability.
Turnpike's closed every day until
How
4.
long do you think this
Then they open it.
process is gonna take?
Then they just put the beams or the steel, so we don't know what they're.
Yeah.
This is, what they're doing right now is they're replacing the
Pipes.
the pipe, the drainage infrastructure. If the weather stays like this, I mean, I think they probably wrap that up in a few weeks. If we get hit with some weather, this time of year, it's,
Guaranteed.
Mother Nature can throw a wrench into things real quick, so,
And the park can become dangerous
Right.
during construction. So I think we should just keep it closed until you, give you the discretion when you can open it.
yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the smartest thing, like I voiced earlier, this is just temporary inconvenience. And it's better that it's happening now, than
Spring.
in the spring, summer, fall, when the park is really,
And I would hope that people would be really thrilled instead of being upset
I
about
don't,
it.
well, they will say
We are thrilled.
yes.
We'll say, you know, we're thrilled.
You're the front line of a lot of that, so.
Any other audience participation? Hearing none, we will move into executive session for litigation and personnel and not reconvene. Thank you.